Hello. Croeso. Welcome to Keridwin Cottage. Dewch chi mewn. Come on in. Oh, come out of the cold. It's freezing out there. The story I have for you this evening is not of a ghost, but of a witch, a sorceress, whose story is embedded in the land over which I walk. Come with me, journey with me to find her story. We only have to travel 40 minutes from the cottage to the shores of Llyn Tegid or Bala Lake, and there we shall meet Ceridwen.
Hirwyn yn mynesawr, pell na byn henesawr, treiglais mwyn lawr, cyn bym llenawr, tregleais cynhellus, cynheisus cant ynys, cant cair a thryngus, da'r drion doethyr, darogynwch yn Arthur, ysyd gynt, neir mi ei hynynt, ac yn adar i o ystyr dilwy.
Long ago, in the early days of the reign of King Arthur, by the shores of Llyn Tegid, there lived a giant named Tegid Foel, who the lake is named after, and his wife Keridwen. Tegid Foel was lord of all the land in the area. Keridwen was not just a noblewoman, she was also a powerful sorceress, and was well versed in the art of divination, enchantment, and transformation. The roots of her craft crossed over into Anothen, the other world. Ceridwen and Tegid Foel had 2 children, a daughter Ceridwin, the fairest maid in all the land, and a son, Morfran. As Ceridwin was fair, he was foul and hideous. Morfran kept to the shadows, emerging only at night, and soon took on a new name, Avag Ddi, the utter darkness. As a loving mother, Ceridwen was desperate to help her son. She consulted all her ancient books and then travelled to Anothen, the other world, to seek a cure. Ceridwen was instructed to boil her Cauldron of Inspiration for a year and a day at the edge of the lake. She was told to gather herbs according to the phases of the moon to add to her brew, along with water from a sacred spring, and set a fire beneath it. The seething mass would eventually transform into a potion of awen, the gift of inspiration, but only if it boiled constantly for a year and a day. The first 3 drops of the elixir to be drunk could transform Morfran into the wisest prophet and bard ever known, along with the ability to shapeshift. However, the rest of the potion would be the strongest poison ever known. Ceridwen employed an old man named Morda to constantly keep the fire burning, and a young boy called Gwion Bach to stir the cauldron night and day for the year and a day. At last, after a year and a day, the potion was ready. Ceridwen excitedly brought her son to drink the 3 magical drops. However, at that moment, 3 drops of the boiling liquid bubbled up and landed on young Gwion's hand. Instinctively, the boy brought his hand to his mouth to soothe the burn, and in that split second, all the wisdom and power contained within those drops entered him. When Keridwin saw that Gwion Bach had the blessings of the potion and not her son, she flew into a murderous rage. Using the shape-shifting powers he now possessed, Gwion turned himself into a hare and fled. When Ceridwen saw this, she was furious and screamed, "Os wyt ti'n ysgyfarnog adna fyddai'n gŵn. If you are a hare, I will become the hound." Ceridwen chased Gwion towards the river. So Gwion Bach transformed into a fish. "Os wyt ti'n bysgodyn yna fyddai'n ddyfrast. If you are a fish, then I will be the otter." And then she pursued him under the water. So he was forced to become a bird and flee to the sky. "Os wyt ti'n aderyn yna fyddai'n gwalch. If you are a songbird, I will be the hawk." And she pursued him mercilessly. Just as Ceridwen managed to catch him in her talons, he became a small grain of wheat and dropped out of the sky and onto the floor of a stable amongst a heap of grain. "Os wyt ti'n un o grawn yna fyddai'n iar ddigopog. If you are a small grain, I will be the big black hen." Ceridwen then scratched about in the heap of grain until she recognised the grain that was Gwion Bach and swallowed him. And so the story might have ended, except that after 9 months, she gave birth to a son. She could not bring herself to kill him, as he was so lovely, so she placed him in a basket and set him on to the lake called Creiglin the source of the river Dyfi. The Dyfi is believed by many to be the river that the ancient Britons believed linked this world to Annwfn, the underworld, similar to the river Styx in Greek mythology. The baby floated on the Black River for no one knows how long, until one Calan Gaeaf, the eve of winter, known by many as Halloween. In those days, between Machynlleth and Aberystwyth, lay the land belonging to King Gwyddno. Gwyddno had a son, Prince Elfyn, who was the most unlucky of men. Everything he attempted was unsuccessful, and good fortune was never with him. Now Gwyddno had a salmon weir. As Halloween was believed to be the luckiest day to gather in the catch, he sent his son to bring in the bounty. And in so doing, he hoped to turn around his son's bad fortune. However, when Elfyn went down to the weir, there was not a single fish. Elfyn began to turn away full of sadness, when he noticed a small basket stuck in one of the traps. When Elfyn opened the basket, he was shocked to find the most beautiful baby, whose brow shone with a radiant light. Elfyn named the baby Talesin, which means radiant brow. As Elfyn rode home, the baby began first to speak and then to recite his own poetry. The poem he recited told him that Taliesin was sent to guide him, that he was not only already a great poet, but also a prophet. Elvin's luck changed after that, and he prospered until the day he died. This is Bedd Taliesin, Taliesin's grave, overlooking the estuary that he was found in one Halloween many, many centuries ago.